This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत.
Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, welcome and adab. You are listening to Bharat FM, a one-of-its-kind, multilingual, eclectic provider of entertainment, information and news to Indian Americans. Headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, Bharat FM airs shows out of Cincinnati, Chicago and Phoenix. We take pleasure in our ability to cater to your bhakti, chusti, sphurti, shakti and masti needs with our audio and visual shows. Check out bharatfm.com for our online program schedule and archives. I'm sure the content will definitely tickle your senses. Tune in via the 24-hour web streaming on bharatfm.com or via the Bharat FM app. More information can be procured at 513-488-5070.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Things We Carry. My name is Varshini Satish, and I'm going to be your host as always. Today, I'm super excited. We have Shankar with us, who has such a unique perspective on life. We had an intro conversation, and even that went way longer than the 20 minutes that we were supposed to have. So I'm really, really excited to have him here today. He has, like I said, an incredibly unique perspective on life, on traditions, on patterns, the things that we usually talk about. And as always, a huge thank you to Bharat FM and also Sahas for Cause for making this show possible. And Sahas for Cause currently is focusing on a ton of COVID relief efforts. So if you or anyone you know needs any assistance, please feel free to reach out to them. Their information is going to be in the description of the show. So yeah, hi, welcome. So excited to have you. I've said that like 3 times, but I really mean it. So how are you doing?
Very good. Thank you, Varshini. Thanks for inviting me to be on the show.
Of course,
talking to you.
Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure. And I'm going to kick it to you first to do an intro, tell us your story, and we can take it from there. So please feel free to take things away.
I'm Shankar. I live in Southern California, and I'm an entrepreneur, mentor, and investor, and a family man. Husband, father to 3 children.
Yes.
And that's me. And I like to talk. I also listen very well.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about what industry you've kind of been an entrepreneur in and your background in that sense?
I'm an application software person, IT and software business. I've been doing this for quite some time. And basically now as an investor, I invest in all companies, biotech, therapeutics, IT, medical devices. So I don't constrain myself to a particular company or industry vertical. I'm agnostic.
How did you kind of get started in this space, and where did you initially find your interest in this space over the last several years? Because it's also an industry that has changed so much in the last couple of decades, just rapidly. Yeah.
It's a long story. So let me start now from day one in this country, or from my life. I came to this country 41 years ago. So 41 years ago, that's a long time ago. And so basically, I'm from South India. I'm from Chennai. And I was born in a big family, 7 siblings, and 4 sisters, and I was the first son of the family. We are from a reasonably wealthy family. My father was a businessman. And up to the age of 16, it was a lavish life. First son, a lot of pampering. We had, you name it, we had everything: cars, servants, houses, multiple houses. Everything was fantastic. But all of a sudden, everything collapsed. My father fell ill when I was 16 and had cancer, and everything went downhill, and he died when I was 18. So all of a sudden, I was 18. I was in college. I didn't know what was going on. I had 4 sisters. They were not married, older to me, and everything fell apart. All our houses are gone, cars were gone, servants are gone, relatives are gone, everything was gone. Money was the holding everything up. When the money was gone, people disappeared. So I had to struggle through life. and borrowed money, took loans, scholarships, finished my education. Wanted to go to the US always, but I couldn't come because I had obligations. So stayed back home, worked for a few years, made sure that at least a couple of my sisters were married. My father believed in education, so all my sisters were educated. They worked, they supported the family, and I made sure that at least a couple of them got married. And then after 4 years, I said, okay, now that the responsibility is a little bit less, let me get back to the US. Luckily, some colleges still accepted my GRE scores. So I finally made it to the US on some minor scholarship. So I landed in this country, but then I didn't have money to come. My grandmother lent me money. I borrowed money from the bank for a flight, and with $400, landed in this country for my master's program.
Yeah.
So basically, I came with nothing, with a loan. I came with a loan, and convinced my head of the department to give me a fellowship. Got a full fellowship, finished my master's in 18 months, got a job, and got my green card. And I started a multinational company, but I did not like the work atmosphere. And I think my father's blood was in me that I needed to be an entrepreneur. So 1983, I quit my great job and became an entrepreneur. I became a consultant, just like that. Just like that. And I was single. And it was an interesting story. I started my own business, went back to India, and told my current wife that I don't have a job. I'm a consultant, but I make good money. And then I got married, and that's where my consulting started. I was in Texas, Houston, and started companies and came to California in 1986 for one of the other companies I started. So basically, I kept looking at opportunities that came on my way. I look at customers, the solution, they don't have a solution, they're doing all paper-based solution. Now, how can I automate it? And being an engineer, and I did my master's in computer science, I was an analytical guy and see how can I solve the problem? How can I automate some of these? And those days, there was no angel investment, there's no mentoring, there's no advisors. So I did everything on my own. So I took the risk, and it was tough. It was not easy with no seed money, just my own time and money, my brain power. And I worked 16, 18 hours a day and shoestring budget, got the company up and running. But in all the businesses, the first thing is in all my entrepreneurship is I listened to the customer. I looked at opportunity. What is it the customer missing? What do they want? Well, how can I solve their pain? How can I solve their problems? And I listened to the customer. I saw the problems they had, and I created a solution. I had the confidence that I can solve the problem, and I have a confidence that I can survive. So that basically started off. And I start one company, and then another idea comes up. I have so many ideas, I kept starting companies. And I probably started about 5 to 6 companies. I had 4 successful exits. And so one leads to the other one. And it has been an interesting journey. I think it's always, I call it a journey. It is a very, very interesting journey. And that is where my entrepreneurship business process started.
Yeah.
I kept the thing going. Entrepreneurship, I made money, I was busy, but then what good is it if I don't give back to the society, give back to the businesses? So I decided to do as much as possible. I became an investor and helping companies that come up. How can I mentor them? How can I give my money and time to them? And I know in the long run, I will make money out of them too, but I started risk and investing in companies. So one is entrepreneurship, then mentor and investment. Then the third one, I always felt as a student, I struggled in India because my family, all of a sudden we didn't have money and I had to continue my education. My parents, my mother and my uncles wanted me to quit school. And I said, no, that's not a solution. I went to private companies to get scholarships, student line, met with people. So I decided I had to do something back for people who are suffering or hurting. So about 10, 12 years ago, me and my friends started a trust in India, in Chennai, where we supported students who come from poor families, people who are qualified, educated, but they did not have the financial resources. So we started setting up trusts, and we paid the full tuition education book for these students. We support about 6 to 10 students every year. And we have engineers, doctors, uh, children of people who are like maids, housemates, drivers, auto rickshaw drivers, those kind of people, servants. And I think I'm very proud that I'm a trustee there, and I'm so proud that I could do that in India. On the US, again, I wanted to do something back to the society. On the business side, I decided to mentor. I became a board member of TIE Southern California, which is an entrepreneurial organization where I can give my time to educate, mentor people to say how to run businesses, how to survive in this atmosphere, and also invest money with them and give them my time. So I've been involved over 10, 15 years with TIE. Now I run an angel group. I'm also chair of the fund. And the most important nonprofit I work with is called Food Finders. That's an organization that has been around for quite some time. I met them about 7, 8 years ago. I love what they're doing. Basically, as the name implies, food finders. They find food. So basically, we rescue food, reducing hunger. So we work with restaurants, private companies, businesses where food is being wasted. Take that food and we give it to food banks, and we give it to churches, who in turn can give it to people. So basically, we are rescuing the food and reducing hunger. What a noble cause! And I said, hey, let me do some work, and I will volunteer. And then, past 5 years, I'm on the board. I'm currently the president of Food Finders. And like last year, we saved 15 million pounds of food.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Just in Southern California. And 15 million pounds of food we saved that would have gone to trash. We saved and we're able to give to people who were needed the food. So that is something I really, really enjoy doing it here. So on one side is entrepreneurship, where I look at opportunities and solve the problems and started my businesses. On the other side, I work with entrepreneurs now where I can give them my time, and I now live their life. I listen to them. That gives me energy to run. As I said today, I had so many calls. Talking to younger people like you, entrepreneurs, gives me the energy. And listening to their ideas, listening to the thought process, it excites me.
Yeah.
And as some of my peers would say, Shankar loves all these businesses. Yes, I love all of them because it's your dream. I want to help you live your dream. That's what I do. If I can't give money, I'll give you my time. And that is something I strongly believe in. Let me give back to the society, business society, the society here. I live in the US. I'm a US citizen. I want to give it back here. But I'm from India and see what I can give back there too. So I try to give back whatever I got. And so that's where the whole thing started. But at heart, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always thinking, what can I do? How can I solve this problem? How can I solve this problem to help others?
Okay, you are absolutely brilliant. I could just listen to you for hours. I think you live, first of all, your background, I feel like, is the perfect literary trope of just like the hero's arc and like a Herculean feat, just overcoming so many things. And now you just live a life of both like innovation and service, which I think a lot of times people in your position, they can swing probably more towards just innovation, continuing like their business success. But the fact that you are so consciously giving back, not just in the US, not just in Southern California, but in India, in a way that is going to impact generations to come, because that one person who gets to go to school changes the course of an entire family for years and years to come. So this is just absolutely incredible. Congratulations on everything you've done. It's like the smallest thing that I can say, but it's literally incredible. And I think to do what you do, you have to have such a clear purpose and why and understanding of what's important to you. So what are some of the things from all of the stories that you've said, from all the things that you work on? What are some of the core principles and values that you apply across the board, whether it's in business, whether it's your role as a father, just what are the things that are most important to you?
Yeah, no, it's very important. See what I've gone through. And basically, I lived life. I learned it from my own experience. Not everybody goes through all that. But if I can go through all that and come with borrowed money. Lost your dad at 15. There's nobody to guide you what you're going to do, and come here with nothing, with a borrowed money, struggle, survive, work 16, 18 hours on a shoestring budget, and then make it up, start companies, work in a foreign country, and survive and make money. And now I'm helping other people make money and servicing society. It's probably that is something, yes, it is a lot of hard work, a lot of time. But one thing which, I definitely followed some leaders, I read books. My favorite is Dalai Lama and Osho. I've read books. And that's one thing I believed in. One of the quotes which I tell myself and tell others always is a quote by George Bernard Shaw. Now, he said, people are always blaming the circumstances for who they are. No, I don't believe in that. Circumstances, people who really want to get on, are people who look for the circumstances they want. If it's not there, they go create them.
Yeah.
And it matches into a T. And when I first saw it, I said, one minute, is it writing about me? Because I had every circumstance. I was asked to drop out of college. I was asked to go work. I was asked to do this. I said no, and I created my circumstance. When I didn't have any money, I created it. I didn't feel shy to go and ask a big company in India those days in 1970s, say, hey, I want to study. I want money. I have a scholarship. Can you give me? Humility. I just went and asked, and they gave. So I did that same thing. I want to go to the US. I told my grandma I need to go. Give me some money, and I'll it against this, and I gave it. I came here. I went. So basically, I created my circumstances at every level, my circumstances, and I dwell in it. So I don't like people who blame, who didn't take responsibility. I believe in taking responsibility in what you do. Don't give excuses. Life is what it's been thrown at you. Take the best of it and work on it. That's there. But over all that stuff, I've had my companies, three of my companies had 100 plus employees, 100, 150, 125 employees. My employee number one, who I had in 1984, is still in touch with me. There are a lot of employees who are still in touch with me. Maybe 90% of employees still know me. That's because I respect them. I listen to them. I don't care whether they're 16 or 60. I treat them with equal respect. Compassion is very, very, very important. I listen. I talk a lot. I love talking, but I also listen a lot. I listen. I always tell people, keep your eyes and ears open. Everybody need help. Talk to them. So basically, my philosophy is be compassionate. The compassion is basically our tolerance. Tolerate to different kinds of people. You have all kinds of people, and that is not a weakness. That is strength. Compassion is strength, and tolerance is also very, very important in life. And listen to people. See what is it you can advise them. What is it you can give back to them? Treat them as peers. For example, businesses and employees. Employees, I consider them families because we spend more than 14, 15 hours at work.
Yeah.
24-hour day, we sleep for 8 hours, and we spend more time in the office. So they are family. They are family. So I call the inner circle your spouse and your children. The next circle, I put them in the same level as my parents and my siblings because they're equally important.
Yeah.
I make sure that I invite them home. I talk to them as a parent, as a brother, whatever I can. I talk to them. That is the one. And people sometimes, even in this country, people stand up when I come in. I say, no, you're all equal. We talk to them. And that is one thing. I listen. I communicate. If I have a problem, I tell them.
Yeah.
Because in a business, you always go through ups and downs. You have payroll issues, you have problems. But if you communicate, everybody takes it in the right stride. You keep open communication between employee and employer. I always tell them. And one famous thing I always say, when my employee walks in, I tell them, whatever title you want, take it. That's yours. It doesn't matter. We are all equals. Yes, I pay the bills. I write the check, so I'm the big boss. But everybody's the same. The reason we give a business card is when you're customer facing, they need to know where you stand. That's the only reason. For me, you're as important as another person. Yeah. So you give respect and you listen to them, you treat them equal, and you're compassionate, and that you get back that. As far as for children, I always taught them, have the right attitude, be nice, be compassionate, be friendly, open with all everybody, and most of all my children are like that too. They are very friendly, open, don't form judgments, don't judge people. Okay, so that is one of the things I strongly believe in, and give as much time as possible if somebody wants to talk to you.
Mhm.
That is something I believe in. So the in life as well as in business, the most important thing is, do not let the behavior of other people affect you.
So true.
Yeah.
Like, I think you have to be consistent in the type of person you are, regardless of the situation. And I've always found that if a situation, if a person, if a friendship is causing me to act so out of character from myself in ways that I know I'm not, then that's not the situation you need to be in. And you need to like remove yourself before you as a person become altered by whatever circumstances that you're in.
That's right.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
not, that should not disturb you.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is people make a big mistake, right? Happiness, what is happiness? It's within yourself.
Mhm.
And we try to get happiness from outside, either animate or animate, or we think, oh, they made me sad. No, you are sad because you expect.
Yeah.
So when you expect something, if you don't get it, you get disappointed.
Mhm.
So keep your expectations at a lower level. Keep your expectations low. Don't expect anything. So when you get something, you're very happy.
Yeah.
Even my investments, that's something which nobody understands me. Nobody, including my wife, nobody understands me. When I make an investment in a company,
Yeah.
I think through, go through all the documentation. I made an
Mhm.
investment. I write the check. Nobody forced me to. I made the investment in the company. The moment our check is deposited, the money is gone.
Yeah.
So I don't expect anything.
Yeah.
When let's say I invested $10, and then tomorrow you give me $1, I'll say thank you, because that $1 I did not have,
Yeah.
right? Because the
Yeah.
$10 is gone. I
Yeah.
gave you $1,
Yeah.
and I will help you so that I can get $11. But if in spite of all this you only gave me $1, I'm not going to say, oh, she cheated me, he did this. No, it
Mhm.
is what it is. I take the
Yeah.
$1 and say thank you, and I thank God. Oh, I got my $1. That's good. That goes to the bank because that is money I did not have.
Mhm.
That philosophy adopted. Nobody understands that because they say, no, that is stupid. That doesn't make sense. For me, it makes a lot of sense because
Yeah.
no disappointment. It doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
And God's grace, I've gotten more than $1, and that
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
So I do not expect. When I don't expect, I don't get disappointed. I get happiness because I got the $1. That is
Yeah.
a very simple philosophy I use,
Mhm.
but you don't have to articulate and tell everybody that because they'll think you're stupid. But I'm saying it here. But
Yeah.
that sort of a thing will reduce your disappointment. Will
It's
keep you much healthier and happier.
Yeah, it's so true. And I feel like it's very similar to like there's this Bhagavad Gita verse that my parents have told me all my life growing up, which is the one where he says like karma neva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, which basically means like do what you're going to do because it's your duty, because it's what you want to do and what you need to do. Expect nothing in return. Like detachment to outcomes will always help you produce like the best work. And again, it's all about acting in you and your power and your whatever as a person and what you exactly want to do without expecting anything in return. So detachment to outcomes always. It's
Yeah,
going to
and
keep you
that's
the most honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I did not learn this in Bhagavad Gita. I didn't study.
Yeah.
Exactly, this is
Yeah.
what it says, right?
Yeah.
Detachment. I'm saying don't expect anything. So it is
Yeah.
something exactly. If we cannot live by all the rules, but at least
Mhm.
some basic rules, if you can keep that, so that you don't get hurt or you don't get disappointed. And
Mhm.
happiness. So
Yeah.
that's very, very important. I always I tell my children, I tell who it is, if they accept it, that's fine. But if that is one of the basic principles I lived by the past 30, 40, 50 years,
Mhm.
and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Whatever's been dealt to me, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So I take it. Mhm.
And one of the things that you said, one of the first points that you said about like creating your own life, creating whatever situation is going to actually like help you excel. I think that's also so true because I really feel this way about life. I mean, I've had to by just like the blessings of whatever my parents have had to experience so much less strife than others. But at the very same time, I always feel like you're not screwed. You're not out of luck if you're in a terrible situation. The minute you're actually out of luck and you're in a little bit of trouble is when you can't see a way out. And I really think that people think life is happening to them, but I really believe life is happening for you so that you are supposed to become the person you are, and you're supposed to create whatever destiny you can. Obviously, of course, like in my case, that is because of some sort of privileges that I've had. But I think you're a perfect example of someone who had everything taken away from them, who had to start from scratch. And you've kind of proven the same thing, is that you can make your life what you want it to be if you're creative, if you keep seeing those possibilities, if you keep seeing those doors opening. And if you're willing to be humble and ask people for help. I think especially being like Indian, South Asian, that's seen as like a weakness, like you said, but it's actually a strength to be compassionate, to think like, if I ask someone for help, they're going to see me as a human being and help me, and to see that goodness in people. I think so often we assume that people aren't going to help you when you're down. People are just going to like say something about you, whatever. But I think that humility that you display in those moments of like real need is so key. And I think our community as a whole would just be so much more compassionate if we all saw that, instead of just kind of like, I don't know, gossiping about each other, things like that. I think it'd be a lot better in that sense.
Yeah. See, those are some of the things, especially South Asians and among South Indians. Now we have certain beliefs and concepts, which it is not really helping us grow.
It's not.
Yeah, I saw it a long time back in India when I saw the the dowry system and expectations, and I used to argue with my sisters and mother and my brother-in-law. I've argued with them all there, and it is difficult in India. It's very difficult to change. It was difficult to change, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get out of that system, because I cannot change as one man. I have 5 sisters, and how do I change all that? So it was tough. But I said, at least I can change that. When I get married, when my brother gets married, we will make sure that we do not follow all the stupid rules, what they have. And all the idiosyncrasies, they had some of these things. So we had to do that. Luckily, in the US, we don't have that. We have marriages between, us, but that's okay. That is good. But then some at the same time, they think, even including my wife and others think, oh, you're single, you're not married. That is wrong. What is wrong? It's you live your life the way you want to. I always tell her, when they're ready, they'll get married. It's just companionship. Marriage is just a license. It doesn't. You don't really. You don't really need that certificate saying that I'm married. What does it? What good does it? So basically, it's grown adults. If you're mature, you basically live either alone, together, or as a married. If you feel that you want a marriage certificate, you get one. Period. So basically, and my wife thinks I'm crazy, but that is the way I lived, and I don't look down on anybody. And I tell my kids this thing: I don't care if you get married or not. It's your life. Who am I to tell you? I brought you in this world. You had no choice. I came in as a parent. Right? And well, at least now you make your own choice, whatever you want to do. So that is something we believe. We believe that people have to be married, and then people have to go to temple and this, and they're not doing this festival, that festival. After my father's death, I stopped believing in all that. I will do whatever I want to do. I have Muslim friends, Christian friends, Hindu friends. Yes, there is God. I believe in God. There is something above me. There is something that I cannot control. So that's something I'm not going to talk about. It's there. You can do anything you want. I go to temple for peace of mind or for architectural beauty. It doesn't. Nobody can tell me what to do. My wife goes to temple. It's your call. Do whatever you want. Don't force me to do something. I never force my children to go to temples. I never force them. It's up to them. So people say, "Oh, they're not culturally thing." No, that's got nothing to do with cultural.
I completely agree.
That's nothing to do with culture or downgrading. God is. Everybody has their own way of thinking. I believe every one of us has some goodness in us that is God. You respect your human being. You have God in yourself. You respect yourself. If you respect yourself, you respect others. Period. That is God.
True.
There is nothing called God. That is what I believe in. I'm not going to. If you believe in it, it's okay. Nothing wrong. As long as you don't impose it on me, and I won't impose mine on you. Period. Because that is one of the things greatest in this country. I feel that I can do whatever I want. Your actions will not bother me. Your actions will not change me. If I see some benefit in it, I will change. But basically, that religion is one. The other one, as you talked about, your marriages, and third one is we believe that you had to go to this school, that school, higher education, educational success. this much money, this car, this house. Those again are all material things. Those really do not bring happiness. Yes, you can have them. I have all of those stuff too. But happiness is got nothing to do with all that.
Yeah.
Success is not that. Success is not how much money you have in the bank.
Yes.
That is something I keep telling. Success. Oh, he's a successful businessman. What does it mean? He could be having problems, sleepless nights, problem. He cheated people. He's not success.
Yeah.
Success is maintaining ethic. You're being ethical. You're being humble. You're giving back, and very happy with yourself and happy that you're adding. That is success. Success is not X million dollars. Success is what you achieved in yourself and how happy you are, and what people think of you. How people value you. What is it? Hey, this is a good. I want to die saying Shankar is a good person. Not a successful. It's a good person. That is then successful, because I'm not going to carry my money when I die. So success is happiness, what you achieved. It's got nothing to do with money. But what kind of car? Yeah, I love cars, but that has got nothing to do with other people. When I drive a good car, I tell people I'm driving for myself. I'm not going to do something or not do something because somebody's going to say something about me.
Yeah.
It's something, no way.
Listen, it's great because the Instagram generation needs to hear this. I work in a space where there's a lot of creators, influencers, and I have heard many stories of people who buy a designer bag but can't pay rent. And I think it's like, you did this for, I don't know, like 12,000 likes on Instagram, but your quality of life is completely in the trash. Like, that's not what success is. Like, you're doing it all for other people. Your choices don't have to make sense to other people if they're not hurting other people, if they're not making sense to other people. It's fine. It's your life. And I completely agree about the money thing. I'm really early in my career, but I've always felt like, listen, the money will always come if you're good at what you do and if you are working in your highest capacity, in your most creative mindset, right? The money will always come.
Yes.
And I've been fortunate to get to talk to people like you, like others, who have always warned me against attaching that happiness. Like, I'll be happy when I get this dollar amount. I'll be happy when I work at this company. So I was really fortunate to get that advice early on and have it actually sink in a little bit. So at this point, I've boiled down whatever I feel happiness to, independent of money, independent of where I work, to just 4 things, at least in my professional life, that I always need to have. I want to have fun. I need to have fun because that's when I do my best work. So things like having this interview, I'm having so much fun. 2, I want to make sure that I'm working somewhere and working on something that is innovative, that is changing something, like you said, addressing some sort of pain point. 3, providing access to people who may not have had access to.
That's right. That's really important.
Whether it's having a platform, whether it's having management, whether it's getting their music distributed, something like that needs to have that. And 4, I think this is becoming much more common. It's something that doesn't need to be said, but diversity. I think it's extremely important. I think I want to see other people who look like me, who kind of think like me at the table and have that type of team of just people with also different backgrounds. So I think having those 4 things I've just identified make me happy regardless of what my salary is, regardless of where I'm working. So yeah, I think the fact that you're allowing that freedom, not just for your kids, but the people around you, the people that you're mentoring, is very telling. And I think we all need to let each other be more free in that sense so that we can just follow what makes us happy.
Yeah. See, that is the same thing, right? That's one thing I always tell people, right? When you are in a certain position, I want this money, I want that much. I always tell, or even you're physically, something you say, oh, I want this, I should have been taller, I could have been there. Anything physical, money, anything tangible, you always, when you say, you look up and say, that guy's got so much money, how can I get that? But then you look down, there's so many people below you who don't even have that, or people who don't have what you have. I always say, look at what you have. Yes, there's always people who have more than you, there's always people less than you. So be happy with whatever you've been dealt with, whatever you have done. See how you can take that and run with it. And then failure. Oh, I kept failing. I did this happen. This didn't happen to me. I did this. But try to use those failures as a stepping stone for success.
True.
Because every successful person has had failures. I've had failures. I had losses.
Yeah.
money and everything. But you will learn, hopefully you should learn from it and go to the next step.
Mhm.
And there
Yeah.
is always success.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in luck. Luck is,
Mhm.
for some, luck is actually for somebody who has practiced a lot, who is basically hard work. He's lucky because
Yeah.
he's worked hard
Yeah.
all his life to get there. I've
Yeah.
never been lucky, but I worked hard to get there.
Yeah.
So basically, don't blame luck. Don't say, "Oh, I've been dealt a bad card, or
Yeah.
because of my dad, because of this, because of that." No, there's nothing. Stop. I always tell people, do if I don't tell people, but let's assume I'm an audience and you're giving excuses. I'm not going to come and advise. No, it's your call. I just slowly walk away from that because I don't want negative energy. I call it negative energy as far as I'm concerned, because unless they ask for advice, I won't give it. Even to my children, I
Mhm.
tell them. My wife gives
Mhm.
advice, I tell them, you ask me and I'll give you. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to give advice because you can put me down, or I don't give advice.
Yeah.
So I don't want the negative energy when people give excuses and people are blaming. I could have, if I had this, I could have done that. Okay. Maybe I don't want to deal with that kind of person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true.
So,
And my dad always says is he's like, just like you said, there's no concept of luck. It's when preparation meets opportunity. Because I had this like really severe imposter syndrome mindset. I feel like that's such a buzzword, but I really had that where I would tell people all the time, excuse my French, but I was like, I fell ass backwards into this opportunity. I don't know what I did to end up like at this company or in this school, whatever. And my dad was like, you need to take a lot more ownership for your sleepless nights, for the work that you've done, because you could have had that opportunity, you could have gotten that interview. And if you hadn't prepared, if you didn't do what you've done, it wouldn't have worked out. So a lot of it is just preparation and opportunity. And that intersection is where like luck
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. And that's the same thing what I had mentioned before. You
Yeah.
have to prepare, you have to work to get there.
Mhm.
But if you don't get it, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
End of the world.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. You tried, you
Yeah.
went for it, you didn't get it, that's okay. No
Mhm.
disappointment, because
Mhm.
there's always another door that opens.
Mhm.
If not this, another opportunity. Sometimes maybe that's the opportunity that's going to take you to the next level. Always be
Mhm.
optimistic. But
Mhm.
the glass is always full, half full.
Mhm.
That this didn't come. Hey, but that's a better one for me, because
Yeah.
that's the one that's going to take you. Don't
Yeah.
be sitting and mulling over that one. Go to the next one. So
Yeah.
always a positive attitude will always keep you going. Positive attitude, positive energy. That's very, very important. It's very simple. There's not no rocket science. It's very
Mhm.
simple. Be
Mhm.
positive. Hey, this is what is happening is I've been given this, I'm going to overcome this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
And you'll
Yeah.
get there. And as you said, money will come. Money is
Mhm.
not the only thing. And money, my daughter always asks me, I say, hey, you need enough, you're able to pay your rent and do this. That's
Yeah.
it, happy. And
Yeah.
then put some budget of expense. She's not driven by money. She loves money, but not driven by money. I said, do not do things for money. Do
Yeah.
not be driven by money and do things for money. Enjoy, have fun, what you're doing, and your happiness will come. Happiness is
Mhm.
money, money is happiness, sort of indirectly.
Mhm.
It's not you
Mhm.
have $1 million in the bank, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy, you're going to have
Mhm.
fantastic, life. Not
Mhm.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So health is not tied to that. A lot of things are not tied to that.
Yeah.
So money stands away. Money creates more problems.
More
There's
money, more problems.
that's
It's
right. There's
true.
more
It's
sayings
true.
in India. Money creates all the root of all evil. Money is a
Oh,
problem.
it's so true. Yeah, it is. It
All
is.
friendship, health, everything. Money is a problem. And
Yeah.
that's one more thing which I see a lot of Indians, South Indians. I've seen it in my own life, in my circles everywhere. People think money will solve the problem. Oh, I need to have retirement money. I need to have money for this. I need to put money. I need to put aside for money for my daughter's education, daughter's marriage. They put money, and then by the time they are ready, they're all settled down, and then they got the grandchildren, and they never enjoy their life. That is
Hmm.
something they
Yeah.
wasted their whole life for what? I
Yeah.
retired officially, even though I had companies, I retired 20, 30 years ago.
Hmm.
51. That is a sort of small thing. My father died when he was 51. So when
Hmm.
I hit 51, I said, that's it. I won't work anymore. So I
Wow.
retired.
Yeah.
So I basically retired at 51, and I said, I want to enjoy life. I started traveling around the world. I
Yeah.
tell my kids, I've given you education, all the stuff. You don't need anything. You got your own 2 feet, stand on it. I'm going to spend my money. And
Yeah.
I enjoy life. I don't sacrifice anything. I enjoy my life
Yeah.
because, yeah, I plan. At the same time, I'm not stupid. I'll plan for the next 5, 10 years. I know I have enough money. I'll live. and enjoying life. A lot of people, especially Indians, the only vacation they have is going back to India. They need
This
to
is
spend.
so true. This
Yeah.
is very true.
Yes, they have family there, but you have
Yeah.
family here too. Spend more time with the family, spend more time with the children, spend more
Yeah.
time with yourself, with your spouse. Go on vacations, enjoy life, spend money, enjoy life, because
Yeah.
that the time goes, but you're not going to get back your life. So
You're
enjoy
not.
life, live life. You're not going to get it back; it's gone.
Especially
So
when you're like able-bodied, able to travel, that's when you should do it. And I think everything that we do sometimes is that was so poignant when you were like, the only vacation a lot of Indian people take is going back to India. But again, that's because you're like, oh, if I'm going to take a vacation, I should be with my parents. I should be investing
there's
it.
nothing wrong with that. There's
There's
nothing
nothing
wrong with
wrong
that.
with that.
Yeah.
But they never do anything outside of that. And oh my God, I even do that here. Like I live in LA, my parents live in Cerritos. And some days like I'll just be like, I just want to spend a weekend in LA, just like chilling, just going and doing like the things I want to do, the places I want to see. But I'm like, oh, if I have free time, I should be spending it with my parents. Like I should be like, and that's like the smallest way that I can describe it. But even taking that pressure off and being like, no, they're fine. They're actually way busier than I am. They have their own social life. Like I don't need to keep expecting a return on the time that I have on my free time by putting in places that I think are more productive than others. So yeah, you should travel. You
Yeah,
should,
even youngsters, youth, you have so much to explore. You
yeah.
explore. Your parents are there. Your grandparents will be there. They're always there for you.
Yeah.
You explore. And
Yeah.
for parents, the children is, yes, it's important, but also enjoy life. I do go to India once a year, but that is not considered a vacation for me. That's India trip, obligatory trip. Then I have no vacations. I have 2-3 vacations separate.
Yeah.
So you have to separate that. And the earlier this, when I'm 60, I'll do that. When I'm 65, they'll do that. But you won't have the time or the money to do all that. Do it whenever you can. Take your vacation, enjoy life. That's something we Asians, a lot of them don't do. I see that. They have so much money. Oh, that's for my children. What for?
Yeah.
That is something, even in India, that's happening. And people, and they're old. And my joke, when you talk about old age, I told my wife, we travel a lot. I want to travel all over the world. And I said, when I'm 70 plus, when I'm not able to walk or whatever it is, then I'll travel to the US. because US, you can take an RV, you can take,
you can do
whatever it is. International, let's go when we are able-bodied. That's what I used to say.
Yeah, I so agree. And it's so funny how like my parents are very similar to like all the philosophies that you have. I feel like very, very similar in many ways. But even then, I don't know why, I don't know how. I still feel that oldest daughter guilt so much. Like I should be doing more for my family. I should be spending the time. And all of my best friends were all older daughters with younger sisters. It's really funny how that worked out. And we talk about this all the time where it's like, there is no pressure from our families, but even so, to like unlearn some of that guilt that we have in our head of like, where should we be spending our time? How hard should we be working? You have to really unlearn it because it's easy to really revert into that.
I'll teach you a trick.
Yeah.
Actually, the parents are very happy if you can call them every day, spend 15, 20 minutes with them and tell them you love them. And that's it. One call a day, or at least one call a day, that's enough. You don't need to see them. They're happy.
You don't need to.
They're happy also not to see you. But they want to make sure you're healthy, you're happy, you're settled, everything is okay, nothing is wrong with you.
Yeah.
That's okay. So one phone call, problem solved.
Yeah.
And then once in 2 weeks, if you don't come, hey, I'll come and see you. We'll plan on a date with your family.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, we do that. Every weekend we'll plan, and whenever we come here, we'll go have dinner, lunch. My daughter lives in LA, and she comes only on a Saturday and goes out Sunday. That's it.
Yeah.
And so she'll even give us a list of Costco items she wants. We'll shop for her. So we're happy at giving back, and she comes, spends one night with us, say hello, and then goes back. And she doesn't come 1 week. We won't be disappointed. That's life. So just call and tell them you're safe. Everything is fine. I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll go for dinner or lunch, and bingo. They're happy.
Literally, I've really tried to do that in the last couple of years. And my parents are like, yeah, why do you keep coming home so much? Like, we didn't ask you. We're actually busy. And I'll come home and I'll be like, why aren't you spending time with me? Mom's like, I told you on Monday, I'm not free this weekend. You're the one who still thought that she should come home. So whose fault is it? It's your fault. So now I'm like really trying to like just establish exactly.
Give them their space. then you have your own space. That's it.
Yeah. My mom's like, okay, like you don't have to call me every day. Like you don't have to call me.
You can call, but don't be clingy. That's all.
I'm so clingy with them. I'm so.
And again, there's nothing wrong. Parents, see, there's nothing wrong. That is something, the parents is something unbelievable, especially that's plus point of the Asians.
Yeah.
They're too overpowering. They're too attached to their kids. It's a negative. No, they are there for you. We will never know that is what we do. And so they will always be there for you.
Yeah.
So you just need, once in a while, you need assurance, pick up the phone, call, and then you go on your life.
Yeah, it's true.
And they will be happy. You'll be happy.
It's so much simpler. And I think this is also something, it's a little bit random that I'm like trying to do in my friendships too. I feel like when you're younger, you feel the need to be like so close to your friends, like constantly in communication. And even with your colleagues, even with your bosses, like some space, just like a couple lines of clear communication. You don't hear from that person for like the rest of the day, every couple days. It's fine. Everybody's just like less concerned about what you're doing than you think and needs their own space to do what they want to do too. So I think that like freedom, I'm just now starting to see like in myself and in my friends to just like let go a little bit and not be like so stressed, because I think we're always in that older child mode of being stressed.
Because they have their own life, they have their own problem, they have their own thing, and you have one.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think that we are solving their problem, but probably we are creating more problems too. So sometimes I get a complaint from my wife that I'm not close, I'm not attached, I'm very detached. But that is not the truth. It is just that I want to give you your space so that I can get my space.
It's true.
I want my own space too. It doesn't matter how old I am. I want my space.
Yeah.
Similarly, you need your space.
Yeah.
And that's something I will not bother my kids with that. I won't ask them questions. If they want, they know where to reach me. They'll come and ask me. I'm not going to go ask questions about a long list of questions. No, I have nothing. And, you don't know what's going on? I said, no, they never told me. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. So that's why I don't live their life. I live my life.
Yeah. Okay, great. I am going to ask you a couple rapid fire questions. Okay, it's like, don't worry. They're all very chill. They're not like anything serious. So first one, have you ever had a 5 to 10 year plan? What do you think of 5 to 10 year plans? Because everyone's like, what's your 5 to 10 year plan? That's like a big common question in the workplace, everything else.
Yeah, in a business, yes. In a business sense, yes, I have had. In life, I do actually, because I'm getting older and my kids are older, I have a plan. I mean, plan means what? I have a financial plan, because they ask questions, Dad, you keep spending money, you have money. And I have a plan. I have a spreadsheet every December. I sit with my whole family and show them my assets, my liability. This is what it is. So I do plan. I'm a planner, but I don't dwell too much time. I do plan.
Okay, got it. What's your favorite vacation that you've ever taken?
Well, there's so many of them. I love each and every one of them. Every vacation is a great vacation. But surprisingly, I've traveled all over the world. I had fantastic vacations. Japan, Iceland, you name it, I've been there. But surprisingly, one of the best vacations I had was this December, the COVID time, in Encinitas.
Okay.
I rented a beachfront home and lived there for a week. It was unbelievable, right on the water.
Yeah.
It was something. I lived in Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii so many times, but this is as good as that. It is one of the best vacations. Stayed home. We could eat out, so we had to bring in food. It was something different, but it was very enjoyable. Maybe it is enjoyable because under the circumstances, after being locked up, it was so good. So it is also the circumstance, right? What it is. So we've been locked up. I couldn't travel for 9 months from March. My last trip was last February, and then come December, it was fantastic. So I remember that more than anything else.
Okay, got it. What's an album or an artist that you listen to when you are stressed out?
Not anymore. I used to listen to a lot of music, those days. I'm not a music person now.
Okay.
Anything, when my son gets into my car, says, Daddy, you listen to this crap and it changes it. I'm an oldie, I listen to older songs.
Yeah.
So my favorite though is Billy Joel.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So even today, if Billy Joel's song comes in, I want peace. It is so beautiful for me. His voice, I love it. I'll go lock up myself in a room and listen to him. Billy Joel is my favorite. Yes.
Okay,
I had all his albums.
Yeah.
And I still listen to the Piano Man. I mean, I love his songs. I love his voice.
My favorite stress song is Shake It Off, Mariah Carey. It came out in like 2005. I was I think like I must have been like 8 or something when that album came out, but I was listening to it like I was an 8-year-old going through a divorce. I was like, I love this music. And to this day, if I'm ever stressed, Shake It Off by Mariah Carey.
Yeah, see, Billy Joel's an old timer. Now, these younger artists, I listen to all of them. I can't differentiate the voices. I get confused.
Yeah.
But somehow I like Taylor Swift. But now,
I love that you are a Swiftie. Justice for Taylor Swift. Her documentary on Netflix,
yeah,
so good.
so beautiful. Yeah, she's, I think, one of the most talented persons I know.
Yeah.
So smart, unbelievable talent, unbelievable talent.
Yeah. I think we should make the title of this episode the fact that you love Taylor Swift. Like Shankar loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I love Taylor Swift. My kids say, "Yeah, she's not good." I said, "No, look at her. She's so brilliant. She's intelligent. She's got a good voice. She's got a lot of things. I think she's the smartest person I think in the industry."
Oh my God. Okay, amazing. What's a movie that you love that you feel like incorporates a lot of your life lessons and just a lot of your philosophies? Could be an animated movie too.
No, see, for me, I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of movies.
Uh-huh.
But that is something, my wife said to me, I do not get attached. I watch movie or read a book.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that is finished,
Yeah.
push it aside. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. It doesn't. Nothing bothers me.
Right.
Nothing there. Sometimes I read a book. After 3 months, I read the book again.
Yeah.
I don't mind reading this book because it is just for me to spend the time.
I love
that. Is a de-stressing mode for me. That's de-stressing for me. So nothing affects me. I don't think they teach me any life principles. It is only de-stressing tools, both books and movies. So I don't have any favorite movies. I watch anything.
That is so good. I'm one of those people where it's like, if I'm going to read this, if I'm going to watch this, I need to get something out of it. Even if it's just like outfit inspiration or style inspiration, I need to get something out of this thing that I'm consuming. So that is like a much more...
Like my wife would say, "Oh, this movie is scary. Why are you watching it?" I said, "It doesn't scare me. It doesn't bother me because I turn it off. The moment I finish the movie, I turn it off and I go by. I don't think about it. I don't do anything about it. Same thing with books. I read a book before I go to bed every night.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading books for all my life, still paper books. I read it before I go to bed to forget all the things that happened the day and just go into fiction mode so that I can go to sleep.
Okay, amazing. Last question. What is a company, small business, whatever, that's super successful now that you saw coming from like a mile away, or like a success story that you love that maybe most people didn't expect to work out?
I saw it coming, but I did not invest in it. Tesla.
Uh-huh.
I like indirectly. I like him and I hate him, Elon Musk. So I saw it coming, but something told me not to put my money there. If I put my money, I would have made a lot of money. I did not put money, but I knew it's going to happen. It will come. A lot of people didn't expect it because they wrote him off as a failure, but he succeeded. His SpaceX is one of the big things. More than Tesla, it's SpaceX.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much. We're almost at time. Is there anything else that you want to just like part on, anything that we didn't cover that you're like, I just need to say this and get this like off my heart?
No. There's something covered most of the points. As youngsters, the next generation, as I said, do not blame your circumstance, create your own, be confident, have the right attitude, have positive, enjoy life, have fun. That's very, very, very important. Enjoy life. Be nice to people. Be nice to people. Be compassionate because you don't lose anything. Don't let what they do bother you. If they bother you, just smile and keep walking by.
Yeah.
It's called a Gandhian principle or something. Just live life, and that's much, much, much better that way because you'll be happy. And I always say, be kind, be happy, have the right attitude, have fun, enjoy life. That's all. It's very short. Our life on the earth is very short. Enjoy. Okay. And then for the COVID time, please stay safe, stay healthy, and that's all I can say.
Get your vaccine because science is real.
Yes. I'm already vaccinated. I think hopefully all of us are vaccinated. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a positive outlook, attitude in life.
True.
Positive attitude. Everything you get for reason. And the last but not the least, wherever possible, give back. Give your time, give your energy, give your money, whatever you can give. The more you give, that's my strong belief. The more you give, the more you get.
It's so true.
Please give. Not necessarily money, time. Volunteer. talk to people, listen to people, because you may have a problem listening to me or talking to me or talking to somebody else will probably lessen your burden. So give them time, give money, give whatever it is, volunteer. That's very, very, I believe in it strongly.
Yeah.
God has given me something, I got to give back. The more I give, I'm keep getting more and more. I'm feeling younger. It's because talking to people, getting the energy back, and thankful. Because if I don't give, I can lock myself in a room. I won't get it. So please give back to society.
You can lock yourself in a room and listen to Billy Joel if you need to. So there's always that at the end of the day. But thank you so much, Uncle. This has been the most fun conversation. I love talking to you. I really appreciate you being here. And I think people are going to have so much fun listening to this. And I think it's been a really good time. So thank you so, so much again for your time. And of course. And also a huge thank you again to SAS for Cause and Bharat FM for making this possible. And again, SAS for Cause is doing a ton of COVID relief work in addition to all the other great work that they do for just marginalized South Asian communities and victims of domestic violence. So if you or someone you know needs something, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. They're doing a ton of amazing work right now. So
Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.